Hello, my name is Matthias Elsässer. I'm the author of the book Intelligent Data-Driven Marketing, and today I want to speak about the Matomics framework. So what is the Matomics framework all about? We heard a lot about Gedankenexperimente, a frame of reference which is built out of this Gedankenexperiment. Then we've seen how we introduced the time dimension into this. We learned what smart KPIs is. And finally, we have taken some physical rules of the second law of thermodynamics, the relativity theory or whatever, to find out some similarities in physics and marketing and how this can help us to get a dynamic view on this frame of reference. And what we've now have done, and this is also the last part of my book, that we try to build a decomposition now of this marketing ecosystem, of this perfect marketing ecosystem, into tiny pieces. And what we finally defined are 18 broader blocks. This is what we call the Matomics. And each of these 18 blocks is then again stripped down to further tiny pieces, and these are the tiny Matomics, in total 56. And what you now can do with these tiny Matoms to build your own ecosystem out of this. This was the idea. And just to give you a bit of a feeling what's in there, so we have quite generic Matoms in. So these are the marketing universe, marketing taxonomy, marketing planning and budgeting, creative management, agile campaign management. I think these are the broader, bigger pieces we have defined. And then there are other pieces in there which are more relying on, on the core activation of marketing. This is audience management, journey management, segmentation, scoring. These are the Matoms which directly rely on the profile of your data cubes. And then we can go further. There is personalization there's demand window, multi-touch attribution as a Matom in. And then finally, we have the special disciplines of connecting your sales towards your marketing, having a look at the reporting. So what is smart KPI? What is explorative reporting? To finally have also one Matom on the creativity, because we learned the creativity is the light speed in marketing. So this is what the atoms are all about. And what we now can do, we can think about how are we able to combine this? And this is applying the Matoms to your own marketing department. And you should have this stack in mind, that a single atom for sure is a quite special discipline. So we have the same in the real nature. But you can combine atoms to molecules. So the molecules are the broader pieces which then directly build one of your use cases within marketing. And I think the molecules then have to combine to a working organism. And this is your competitive advantage, because this can't be no longer copied by your competition. And this is where you have to reach with the Matomics. It doesn't make sense just to stay on the molecule or atoms level, because this is what open to everybody, and everybody can do this, and everybody can read this and implement this. But you have to think about, how do I combine these molecules to my personal marketing organism, which is then your competitive advantage. And then, depending on your business model, so on the broader company ecosystem, you can build your universe by bringing together these different organisms in one single world. And this is what the Matomics framework is all about. So on the one hand side, defining these different, and if you start reading the book, you will see there's a really big chapter in which describes them in detail, also the effect on your organization, what kind of IT support you need for each of these atoms. And then the system has to be built up out of these atoms, and this is then your work that you start thinking about, how can I use these pieces to build my personal molecules, to define my competitive advantage by building organisms, and out of these organisms define my personal marketing universe. And this is what the Matomics framework is all about.